A few months ago, someone sent me a post on Instagram of a discount OnlyFans girl claiming she was dating a billionaire, and the kid looked young enough to be in high school, so I decided to dig a little deeper. Forbes has a list of the youngest billionaires under the age of 30, but they seem to have forgotten one. First 20-year-old billionaire sets his sights on global domination while staying grounded. You guys are going to have a lot of fun during this video because you'll get to see a fake guru in the making before they hit it big. Here he is on September 9th on his Instagram stories.
Hey Siri, who's the first 20-year-old billionaire?
I found this on the web.
Oh, that looks like me. How funny.
Gavin, who makes history as the first 20-year-old billionaire, is redefining the definition of success. He says success is not about getting a college degree, but about knowing your purpose and shooting for the stars. This fake news article was in River Country, a news channel in Nebraska. He couldn't afford Forbes or Entrepreneur's paid placements just yet. He has hopes to attract the attention of massively successful people such as Grant Cardone and Gary Vee. Those guys can be bought too, but their price is significantly higher than what Gavin can afford, but maybe he's richer than I give him credit for. Let's see how much money he made last year. He claims he made $123 million in 2021 and is on track to make $500 million this year. You're probably wondering what he does. I was curious too, so I sent him a DM on Instagram. He claims he wholesales commercial buildings to private equity groups and REITs. I asked him what the company name was so I could do some research, and he responded that it was an S-Corp and I wouldn't find it. This was the first red flag because S-Corp just means tax designation, not a company type, and it's easy to find any business if you have the name and state it's registered within. Then he told me that he has $800 million liquid in his bank account. One of the ways Gavin wanted to prove his legitimacy is by showing the world that he has $1 billion in his bank account. This is his attempt at proving to have $1.4 billion in his Chase bank account. Not a single billionaire holds $1 billion in cash in a single bank account. They also would never flaunt the amount of cash they have, as if the absurdity of his claims wasn't enough. I'm just saying this is the easiest tell. I mentioned that he'd need to sell $50 billion in real estate to have $1 billion in earned income. This story doesn't add up, of course, but my brain immediately goes into the mode of being able to write a thesis paper on why none of this adds up. If you're getting a commission for transacting real estate, then you'll make somewhere around 2 to 4% of the purchase price. Gavin claiming to have over $1 billion in cash would mean he'd need to be involved in $50 billion in real estate transactions, which is absurd, but even more so because he claims his company does $123 million in yearly sales, which is ridiculously false and none of the math adds up. He alludes the company's taking total losses as the source of his funds because he offers wickedly high prices. These big companies shave down their taxes in exorbitant amounts of money apparently. This kid has no idea what he's talking about, but I entertained it just to see what I could get out of him. He then said it's all a ruse to lower their taxes. I asked him for some addresses of properties he's wholesaled so I can verify that he was a party to the transaction. He said that it would be breaking his NDA, which terminated in December. There's no signed NDAs on real estate transactions. Everything is public record, so this was patently false, but it makes for a good story, I guess. He seemed to believe that there are NDAs when transacting in private equity deals with REITs and hedge funds. Gavin said his NDA was up in December, so I'd love to chat with him, but his Instagram has been gone and he found himself in the news recently.
Well, LSU is still quiet tonight after gunshots were heard on campus early this morning.
Students received an alert about this investigation around 3:30. Fallon Brown is live at LSU with what officials are saying today.
An LSU spokesperson said Friday that 2 suspects were arrested by police. They were identified as 19-year-old Gavin Teague and 25-year-old Javon Williams. The victim told police he first encountered one of the suspects, Teague, shortly after 2 a.m. That person said Teague walked up to him and offered $200 for the victim to help find his car, which he thought may have been stolen. The two found Teague's car soon after, which was never stolen in the first place, and parted ways. After the victim left, he says Teague tracked him down and demanded that he give back the $200. The victim said he refused to return the money, and he ran away after Teague allegedly threatened to hurt him. Soon afterward, the victim alleges several men in a Bentley truck began chasing and shooting at him as he was driving away. As you'll find out in just a minute, Gavin, the world's youngest billionaire, has a history with running into the law while committing crimes. You would think he would be too busy sending videos of his billion-dollar bank accounts, but that doesn't appear to be the case. The victim was later able to flag down police near Astor Street and was speaking with officers when he saw the same group of men drive past, this time in a BMW. Officers stopped the car nearby. Apparently, Gavin was firing shots into the air from the front passenger seat of the Bentley, and then they swapped vehicles after the Bentley was damaged chasing the victim. That doesn't exactly strike me as someone who is running a massive business.
But yeah, we're actually looking to employ everybody, and that's what we're trying to grow. Yeah, we're trying to grow. Like right now we have about 87 employees. Mm-hmm. We're trying to grow to like 500 employees, and yeah, we're trying to teach the youth that college is not the only way out, or the military.
Gavin may not promote going to college, but he was on LSU's campus causing trouble. Also, did anyone else notice the guy in the background? I don't know what kind of gun the guy is holding, but it seems a little excessive for a podcast between a couple 20-year-olds. It's incredibly stressful sometimes, but it's worthwhile. By 19, I was already making big moves, buying all the buildings up in Miami, Austin, Dallas, NYC, and across the country. His methods and secrets to success, going from zero to hero, remain to be seen as he develops his real estate course.
What I learned is definitely gonna watch who's around you when you get that amount of money, because I didn't grow up having friends. I wasn't the coolest person ever.
Right.
His story for being a billionaire is being a real estate investor, but there's no indication of him ever owning any real estate. This is the only house associated with his name. It's owned by his mom and is very modest. If he was making any money, they would have moved into a nicer neighborhood. Using my favorite real estate software, Batch Leads, I found the house, which still has a mortgage. If someone was a billionaire, their mom would not be living in lower middle class America with a mortgage on their house. Gavin Teague was arrested for driving while intoxicated and reckless driving at 3:09 a.m. and was released at 11:28 a.m. the same day on $1,500 bond. That was in July 2021 when he was running his $100 million real estate business. Then this happened a year later. A couple of months ago, he was arrested again for a DUI and reckless driving at the age of 20.
You definitely gotta watch who's around you, and you definitely have to brace yourself. It's like something it's like a shockwave that hits you when you get that amount of money. Like my first paycheck.
In the news articles, Gavin shared an image of his bank account. Think of how much validation you yearn for to have a fake news article about you that includes a fake screenshot of your bank account indicating you have over $1 billion in cash. This is the fake guru origin story on steroids.
You know what I mean? I was like, how can I implement this and take it to the next level? So I came up with a business plan. My business model's untouched. That's why I'm so successful. And people always ask me, well, how do you do it? Because, my uncle's a realtor, and he doesn't make anything near that.
Right.
I'm like, well, I have a good business plan.
Critical thinking plan.
Yeah, exactly.
He told me he could go to the IRS and be a whistleblower because every big company with a huge portfolio does it. They fake the books and pretend to lose tons of money. I responded that they trust a 20-year-old to conceal tax fraud, they have him sign a temporary NDA, and then they pay him to offload the properties to the extent of $1 billion in earned income. He claims it is worth it to these companies to pay him a significant amount of money to offload properties, whatever that means. Of course, none of this story makes sense, so I'm hoping you're enjoying this as much as I was while investigating. So you made roughly $500 million for the last 4 years, right? And hold it all in cash in your personal accounts, and you're complicit in tax fraud that hedge funds are committing, and no one knows who you are, but in December you can magically talk about these deals. I guess this works on 20-year-olds who follow you. He then asked for my number to prove everything to be true. I sent my email address asking for bank statements as proof, which he never sent. This has to be one of the funniest fake guru origin stories I've ever come across. While Gavin was active on his Instagram, he was showing videos of him sending $100,000 through Cash App to random people who followed him. Admittedly, I was never able to figure out how he was able to fake his bank accounts or the transactions on Cash App. Obviously it's fake, but I couldn't figure out how he was doing it. The only idea a friend sent me was that there was a way to write fake checks to yourself that would show as deposits in your account for a week, but then when the bank realized it was fake, they would deduct the check amount from your account. Maybe that was it?
So we really thought about everything from beginning to end.
Gavin was somehow able to convince Andrew Tate to post about him on his Getter account. Funny enough, Gavin started his own Discord channel that was an identical match to Andrew Tate's Hustlers University. I'm talking so much of an identical that I am convinced he copied everything word for word. I did a video on Hustlers University where I joined for a month so I know what it looked like, and everything to the word was identical. I could never figure out how to verify he was faking these screenshots and videos for his Instagram while it was still active, but here he is claiming to have sent $15 million to a random follower. Another thing Gavin was doing on his Instagram was claiming to give people cars to whoever DM'd him. The transactions look legit, and I couldn't see the VIN, so wasn't able to verify who actually bought the cars. Funny enough, I found this judgment against Gavin Teague. It's alleged that he accepted $1,000 from the victim with the promise of delivering a 2020 Tesla Model Y. Defendant has so far failed to deliver the agreed upon vehicle at the time and place specified and subsequently cut off communication with plaintiff.
Hi, my name's Gavin Teague, and made the house. That's cool and all. Or the black, $90,000 black Widow truck, that's cool and all. But what should really, impress you is this. Come here, my friend. If I can log into my Bank of America and show, I don't know, $680 million in an account.
I have to give him credit. I couldn't figure out exactly how he was faking those accounts.
But I have $932 million. And there, as you can see. So
the reason why he was promoting himself is he was attempting to build a paid Discord community called the Salt Legion.
Look me up. first 20-year-old billionaire on Google. I'll be the first search result, Gavin T. My name's Gavin T.
I haven't entirely figured out how he has enough money to buy cars and rent houses, but it isn't from real estate. In this podcast, he claims to be a real estate wholesaler. Even the most legit wholesalers I know of are in the $1 million a year range, and Gavin is not a legitimate wholesaler. It'll take you about 30 seconds to figure that out.
Social media portrays a false image. Look at it like this. Not everything you see on social media is what it's like in real life.
Kind of ironic coming from the guy who claimed to have $40 billion in cash in his personal bank account at Chase and another account with over $900 million. With his social media accounts down now, his attempt at being a fake guru fell flat. I wasn't able to find anything on him scamming anyone, so I don't think he caused any harm, and he didn't charge for his Discord group, so no one spent any money. He turned out to be just a young kid wanting to be the next Andrew Tate. Thanks for watching.